Return by Neil Lawrence. Minos wakes, sits up, pulls at the back of his neck, but all pain has gone. Turns his head, sees his left arm regrown into the suit, the hand pink as a newborn. Here? How? Not sure. Teeth clench. Nothing. No explanation comes. But he is Minos, he knows that. And this field, it was dead, shriveled up, barren. Not so now. He rises from his bed, from fractured wood. What has happened? He walks the field, something ritualistic in his low hunkered gait. Something had burst up from the blistered ground, clumps of newness. White fringes the yellow face like a lion's mane. Flowers? Are they? Yet the ground still carries the familiar stench. He releases the breath he's been holding. Surprised there's no urge to vomit. He tugs at the glove, protecting his right hand. It gives way with a squeak, a pop. Skin on the back of his hand, the colour of stone. Angry webbing between his fingers, scaly and raw. Not yet healed. Yet the wind that plays between his fingers is mercifully cool. It takes a long time, but he allows himself to touch, to stroke one of the large green buds of a plant not yet in leaf. There is relief. No pain. His skin does not break or seep or swell. The feeling beneath his fingertips, it has been such a long time. He remembers the first soft bristling of hair above his lips. 14, 15? He remembers the downiness, the feel beneath his fingers. Lamb's ears. From nothing, the name comes. It comes in the voice of his father who must have given those words to him, given him that name. Minos sighs. He stands ready for the past. The memory is bright. He can smell the kitchen, his father, his sweat. Still healthy then, his smell. Schools had been closed by then for a year. Everyone ordered inside by then, but the windows? He's not sure. When the earth cools, we can plant. His father's voice, so cool, so gentle. But perhaps that is his memory. There are things of which he is certain. He remembers the seeds. He remembers how bored he was. He remembers his father starting to cough, how he'd hoped, hopelessly, that it wasn't, that it couldn't be. Minos reaches the stream bed, its channel worn deep into the earth. He remembers bliss following the stream downhill that last summer. Bliss. Running after the water as though she could escape with it, as though she could disappear with it, as if she could go... He looks down, shocked to see a return. An infinitesimal vein of fluid gleams within the bed. It came back, he thinks. Minos lies down, opens the mesh flap that hides his face and dips his tongue into the trickle. He shivers, runs the flat of his tongue across the stream bed, moist grit and soft earth. He stays there until the root of his tongue aches. And then he stands, groaning, groping for the catch at the back of his helmet. When, finally, it gives, he hears a tearing sound. It shears through his skull. The top of his head smarts. He reaches up, his fingers probing at the crown, finding wetness, hair missing. The blood it brings to the surface, the blood on the palm, is red. Red blood, healthy blood. This is not pain, he thinks. This is celebration. This is revelation. Minus walks to the farmhouse, a concrete husk, windows uselessly, pointlessly boarded. The door is gone. He passes the makeshift shelter in the lounge, constructed with bliss in those last desperate months. Modified sheep wool, stuffed sheets, an attempt at insulation. They lay listening in the dark for sounds, the telltale sounds of deterioration. Minus remembers, hard and sudden, that final night. The sounds, the smell, father's ungovernable sores, everything ungovernable. He climbs the pockmarked stairs, enters a bedroom, his parents' bedroom. A desiccated wardrobe belches out grit and stone. Inside it, a green nightgown clinging to a rusty hanger by thin straps. A tan lab coat, the initials on the chest faded. Mother's or father's? He can't tell. He lies down on the bed. Ragged splinters from somewhere puncture the skin of his neck. He doesn't care. Mother. Mum. He thinks of her at the end, coughing, lying on her side, the bucket, parts of her in the bucket. She said something. Renew? Return? He'd not been listening, not realizing he'd not hear her voice again. From downstairs now a sound, a sneeze, a cough, a bark. It brings Minus back. He goes down to the kitchen. Whimpering. There is whimpering growing louder from the sink, the stained brown sink. In there is a Darren dog, gene spliced, Dankin bred, a Darren dog. Its nose against the rusting plug hole. Bites pit the fur, ribs visible, but the coat is still thick, a mustardy yellow. The eyes are bright. Tubular tongue probes the basin. Minus rubs a palm against the flat of the dog's head. Pencil-shaped tail bobs. Minus scoops her out. The Dankin hums, contented. Outside, Minus takes the dog to the stream bed. Her tongue sweeps the earth, her tail bobs. She looks up, chin well gritted, yips. Minus waits a moment, then another. Then he smiles, climbs down into the stream bed with the dog. They follow its path together past the field where he woke. They are going. Minus knows they are going to the wood. A wood that was once an escape from the heat, that awful, mutated heat, that hideous pressure rippling across the fields between the trees, through everything, through everyone. Back inside after that, everyone forced back inside. And how long had mother and father lasted afterwards? Days? Hours? It hadn't mattered. Time became pointless, useless, unknowable. But mother, not for her. All will return, Minus tells the Dankin, just as mother had told him. He's almost sure that's what she'd said. The stream bed dips, the trickle deepens. He glimpses shoots of new grass here and there, and another smell, one he recognises. Lavender. His father's voice again. Minus whistles. The Dankin is distracted. A fly of all things. The first Minus remembers since seeing... For a long time he stands. Then he lifts his hand to the seal of his suit. He tugs, but the zip will not move. He pleads. With whom he doesn't know. The Dankin leaps up, her eyes purple, characteristic for her breed of worry. At last something gives. Minus cries out. A fingernail, his fingernail, long and yellow, rends the weakened lining. He tears. Fabric falls in strips like old wallpaper. Laughter, hoarse and high. The light is dimming, but this is not a sign of trouble. There is peace in this darkness. The colours of the heavens are like the song his sister sang. Her voice high and out of tune. It made Minos laugh. Only Bliss could make him laugh like that. The sky returns from blister red to clean and hope and blue instead. But as the house grew colder, Bliss's voice stopped being funny. And the strawberries too had stopped smelling happy. Minos had wept, wept and wept, clutching his empty belly as she sang the same words over and over. Minos cries. He's reached the bottom of the hill where Bliss used to come, where she used to follow the stream. He wipes his eyes. The once proud wood, not gone, not completely. 1, 2, 3, 10 short skinny trunks. The bark is clean, untinged by the orange blight that broke so many in the before time. The striplings stand proud, raw recruits. Past them the stream feeds a small pond. Minos cannot stop. He scoops water, throws it over his chest, rubs it into his skin. Behind him, footsteps approach. He leans forward, repeats the blessing of water. All will return. The sound of breathing from behind him. Eyes closed now. Water slaps his face, then a gasp. In this place of so much silence he hears lips part, a high, thin voice. The sky returns. Minos leans back and arms are ready, waiting to wrap around him. He feels her hold him and takes a deep breath, and he rises with her breath. Her song goes through his body just as in the before. Her voice is frail, but its playfulness has returned. To clean and hope and blue instead.